Greetings, salutations, and guten tag, everybody. My name is NateFNGreat, and welcome to this special edition of the Game Changer Podcast. Of course, a part of Spreaker.com, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, so many different places you could check us out. And you can also follow me on Twitter at RealFNGame. So, why am I creating this episode? Well, just to do a little something interesting, because I know that March Madness is still kind of relevant, to say the least. It is March, and it is madness going around here. Just going to say that right now. I thought it would be actually kind of cool to do not one, but two March Madness brackets for you guys, and you might really enjoy these two. So the first one I have here is the Pixar Madness, where it has brackets of Pixar movies. They're battling against each other head-to-head, and there's another bracket for top superheroes of all time. That one is going to be a very lengthy one, so you might want to strap in for that one, you guys. So let's just go right into the Pixar one, get this one kind of going. It's going to be a spectacular deal here. Alright, so for one of the first rounds, we have Finding Nemo versus A Bug's Life. For this one, it's kind of an easy one for me. I'm picking Finding Nemo to pick up the victory here. As much as A Bug's Life is kind of a fun little movie, nothing really too spectacular in my opinion. Next up, we have Monsters Incorporated versus The Incredibles. This one is a little bit tougher to choose from, because I love Monsters Incorporated. I love the fact that you get to see basically the other side of monsters when they aren't trying to scare kids, that they have a bit of a normal life, and what basically happens when a kid goes into their world. It's really cool. Now, the same thing could be said about The Incredibles, where you see the other side of the superheroes' life when they're not being superheroes at all. And honestly, this is a really tough one to call, like I said before, but I'm going to give this one to The Incredibles, because I really do enjoy that story just a bit more. I enjoy that one because of the fact that it involves superheroes. I enjoy the fact that it definitely does have this kind of rebirthing hero kind of storyline, where he's trying to basically prove that he's the best, and he also has his family involved. It's a really good movie. Monsters, Inc. is definitely a close second when it comes to that. Alright, next up we have Toy Story 2 versus Cars 2. Now, for the sake of this, and to save just a little bit of time and grace, I'm picking Toy Story 2 for this one, because I have not seen Cars 2. So if there's a movie that I have not seen, or if there's a hero that I'm not really too aware of, I will be basically going to the default of what I've actually seen. Next up here we have WALL-E versus Ratatouille. These are kind of the interesting movies, because WALL-E is a story about a robot who's basically trying to find a way to get this plant to the ship so that way they can return to Earth, something like that. It's a very interesting story. Whereas Ratatouille, it's about a rat that basically wants to be a cook, and he's using a person to do that. So choosing between these two, they're very unique movies to choose from. As far as which one I'm going to choose for this one, I think I'm going to give this one to Ratatouille for this. I like that story just a little bit better. WALL-E has very little dialogue, which can definitely benefit it, and it definitely is visually amazing. I just think Ratatouille definitely has a little bit more of a story to go off of there. Next up, we have Cars versus Up. Unfortunately, that is one where I will have to choose Cars, because I've still not gotten a chance to see Up. I need to change that. I really do. Next up, we have Monsters University versus The Good Dinosaur. Well, unfortunately, I'll have to choose Monsters University for that one. And next one we have is Inside Out versus Brave. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, Inside Out. Not going to lie at all. That is a movie that I just absolutely love. It still gets me in the feels. It is so amazing. Next up we have Cars 3 versus Finding Dory. Giving it to a default to Finding Dory. Alright, next up we have Coco versus Incredibles 2. Ooh, this is a very tough one. I really do love Incredibles 2. I think it's one of the best sequels that you could possibly find in the Pixar, in any of the Pixar movies. But Coco is a really, really very culturally driven movie, but it's also very visually amazing. I think I'm going to be fair with this one. I'm going to give this one to Coco because I just feel like, Incredibles 1 is still really good, and I think it might just hold off for the time being. So there are a couple of movies here that were actually given their own little bracket. They're kind of given their own little bye here, and I'm actually going to go into one of them right now, which is between Finding Nemo and Toy Story. The winner of this will go on to take on the Incredible bracket. I might even just go right into that one right after this. So basically, it's Finding Nemo versus Toy Story versus The Incredibles. I really do love Toy Story. I do love the story that it has there. Finding Nemo is definitely visually amazing, as well as just a really good story about a father trying to find his kid. Incredibles I've already talked about. You know what? I'm taking a risk on this one. I am going with The Incredibles. They will be going to the finals of their bracket. Alright, next up we have here Toy Story 2 taking on Ratatouille. For me, this is one of those things that's just not, well, actually, I stand corrected. It's another triple threat deal. It's going to be Toy Story 2 versus Ratatouille versus Cars. I'm giving this one to Toy Story 2. I really enjoy, again, the story there of basically finding what feels like your worth, and basically the whole story with Woody basically finding out, he is, a famous toy, and he could be famous overseas, but he's more important as being Andy's toy. And the story with Jessie is just very heartbreaking, and it has one of the best songs for that deal. It's great. It's wonderful. Next up is another triple threat. We have Monsters University versus Toy Story 3 versus Inside Out. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is a really tough one. I'm going to say this right now. I'm eliminating Monsters University from this one. So it's basically between Toy Story 3 and Inside Out. And this is a tough one, because both of them are very emotionally driven, and they are so well done. The story with Toy Story 3 of, the toys trying to get back to Andy, and there's that humongously emotional scene at the end of the movie where we not only see the toys basically almost accepting death as their inevitability, but also being passed on from one generation to another, with Andy's toys going over to Bonnie. So, it feels like it's just two very well said emotional moments there, but the heartbreaking emotional ending with Inside Out, where Riley is finally coping with, being able to just control her sadness. It's so very well done. That's tough. I think that I've done a bracket like this before, and I think I had Inside Out go all the way. Really looking back at it now, I'm picking Toy Story 3 to pick up the win here. It's one of those things where, again, the story is really good. It has two pivotal endings that just really that pull at your heartstrings. It's just absolutely amazing. Alright, so another triple threat here. We have Finding Dory versus Toy Story 4 versus Coco. For this one, I'm going to be giving this to Coco. I was not too big on the whole Toy Story 4 deal. It's not one of my favorite movies. There's a lot of comedic moments. There's some nice heartfelt moments there, but nothing really as strong as Toy Story 3 was. Finding Dory was one of those sequels that I could probably live without, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy that they did it. But Coco definitely was very powerful. Again, just so well done, so beautiful. It's amazing. Alright, so we have the finals of the first bracket. We have Incredibles versus Toy Story 2. The superhero movie versus a very emotional movie there. Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going Incredibles. Incredibles win their bracket. They win that bracket. They are going to the finals to take on the winner between Coco and Toy Story 3. This is really tough. I love the visuals that Coco has, and I love the story that is being told there about, Cinco de Mayo, or not Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead. It's just so absolutely beautiful. But again, the story that is being told in Toy Story 3 is just absolutely riveting. It's just so well done. I'm giving it to Toy Story 3. Again, the story itself is just so powerful. It's very hard to top. It's just very good. So we have The Incredibles taking on Toy Story 3, and I'm not even going to waste anybody's time on this. Toy Story 3. So, in this March Madness deal, Toy Story 3 picks up the victory, and I think that this was a movie that is just so very well done. It recalls everything that they've gone through. It definitely delivers more character development. We do have a bit of a interesting villain with a very interesting story. It's interesting. Like I said, it's very interesting and it's very well done. The final 2 moments of that movie are just so absolutely amazing. Alright, now we can go into the top superheroes of all time. This is where it's going to get very interesting because, like I said, there's a lot of these characters that I really enjoy, and then there's some of these characters that, I probably don't really know too much about, but we'll see what we can do here. Alright, first up we have is Marvel area. Actually, we'll do the Marvel side, take a quick break, and then go into the DC side and continue on from there. So for the Marvel side, we have Spider-Man versus Daredevil. Not gonna lie, Spider-Man all the way. Let's face it. We have Luke Cage taking on Black Widow. I'm giving that one to Black Widow. Honestly, I did not plan it for it to be basically a spider versus a spider situation, but it's really kind of one of those things where it's like, kind of funny how they had that come out. So we have Hulk versus The Thing. Because of the fact I'm not too familiar with The Thing... Oh, wait, no, that's from Fantastic Four. No, I'm still giving it to the Hulk. Hulk is just amazing. We have Thor versus Captain Marvel. Alright, so this is kind of interesting because Thor is the god of thunder, and then there's also Captain Marvel, who, despite, being played by one of the more interesting character choices, and I only say that because after this whole ordeal with Brie Larson, it's just one of those things where it's like, oh man, it's just weird. I'm trying to be impartial with this one, but I think I'm going to give this one to... I'm going to give it... You know what? Screw it. I'm giving it to Thor. I like Thor a little bit better. Alright, next up we have Deadpool versus Wolverine. Interesting. So a lot of the times where Deadpool is just making comments and remarks about Wolverine, now he basically faces off against him in a death battle. You know what? I'm going with Deadpool. I really enjoyed Deadpool. He's hilarious. He's action-packed. He's just one of those guys I just absolutely cannot, I just absolutely love him. Next up we have Captain America versus the Punisher. For this one, I'm going to be picking Captain America because Punisher, he's a guy with guns, but at the same time, his guns are probably no match for Captain America's shield. I'm just saying that right now. Ooh, Battle of Wealth, basically. Has Iron Man takes on Black Panther. Ooh, I kind of like this idea, actually. So, I am going to... Oh, gosh. Both of them are really good. I mean, the Black Panther movie that came out a couple years ago was just absolutely amazing. I really love what they've done with Iron Man. He's just one of the coolest characters of all time. Between these two, oh gosh. I'm going to go with an upset here. I'm going to pick Black Panther for this one. I think that Black Panther would have just a little bit more more of an idea of how to handle Iron Man's equipment. Plus, it's I hate to be the one to say it's Black Panther. Let's just say that right now. All right, and finally for this one we have Doctor Strange taking on Ghost Rider. Doctor Strange, not even contest. Yeah, I'm just going to finish off the entire deal for Marvel. So we have Spider-Man versus Black Widow. No real contest. It's going to be Spider-Man. Not an issue. Next up we have the Hulk taking on Thor. A bit of a rematch from Thor Ragnarok. For this one, I think Thor's got the advantage. Next up we have Deadpool taking on Captain America. Deadpool all the way. Are you kidding me? We have Black Panther taking on Doctor Strange. Ooh, that would be an interesting one. I'm going to pick Doctor Strange for this one. I think somehow that Doctor Strange would be able to maneuver his way through Black Panther's deal. That's just my opinion. We have Spider-Man taking on Thor. He's my boy. Spider-Man all the way. Deadpool versus Doctor Strange. Somehow I see Deadpool picking up the victory here. And then finally we have Spider-Man in the finals taking on Deadpool. Between these two, you have my favorite versus one of my most favorite comedic kind of people. Oh gosh, this is a tough one actually. Oof. Man. Between these two, this is a doozy. Well, I could always just flip up. Well, this is not a coin. This is actually a keychain from Rant with Ant. So I got the face side. I'll have that be Spider-Man. The yellow side, which is completely just one side, that will be for Deadpool. So, all right, here we go, and. Alright, Deadpool wins. I'm not going to complain at all. Either one could have won, but Deadpool came out victorious. Alright guys, so there's going to be a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll go to the DC side and see who will be meeting Deadpool in the finals. So stay tuned guys, we will be right back. Hi, I'm NateFNGreat. You know what's really fun, you guys, is just spending some time creating wrestling moments. Whether it's being in the crowd, cutting promos, or just really kind of beating each other up with a chair or a trash can. Well, let's just say that there's a safer way to doing that without using the actual chair or a trash can. Go over to Great Minds Revolution Incorporated. My buddy Kurt has actually created a very safe and fun way to be a wrestling fan without the necessary lawsuits of basically beating each other up with real stuff. He has an inflatable chair that is really fun to just whack around, and it could also double as a little floaty for a pool. He also has the inflatable trash can, which you guys is really awesome because let's say maybe you don't want to use it for wrestling matches. You could use it at your barbecue, your next big tailgate party, whatever you could think of. Great Minds Revolution Inc. They do a great job on making wrestling fun again. Proud friends of the Game Changer podcast. Alright guys, welcome back. We are doing a bit of a March Madness deal, where I'm doing it actually, and I just went through the Marvel side and covered that Deadpool will be going to the finals. Who will he be fighting? Well, let's find out right now. First up, we have Superman versus Martian Manhunter, because I think that he is one of the top guys in DC. I'm giving this one to Superman. Next up, we have Black Canary taking on Supergirl. I actually gave a little bit of an upset victory to Black Canary for this one. I know Supergirl is the cousin of Superman, but I think that with her inexperience, Black Canary can find the advantage to take down Supergirl and pick up the win. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Don't go crazy on me. Next up, we have Aquaman taking on Cyborg. I'm giving it to Aquaman mainly because I know that some people will definitely argue the fact that, well, he wouldn't get, he wouldn't do too much. He wouldn't be, harmed in the water. But I think that Aquaman is going to have a bit of an advantage over Cyborg. Next up, we have Wonder Woman taking on John Constantine, I believe this is. To me, there's no one better than the Wonder Woman, or should I say, Wonder Woman. We have the Green Lantern taking on Green Arrow. This is kind of an interesting toss-up between the two of them, but I gave it to Green Arrow because I believe somehow Green Arrow could just find a way to shoot the ring off of Hal and pick up the win here. I'm just not that big on Green Lantern. I'm not gonna deny, guys. We have the Flash taking on Shazam. Flash is very fast, but I think that Shazam would probably find a way to pick up the advantage, pick up the win. That's just me. Next up we have Batman taking on Swamp Thing. All Batman needs to do is just find a way to just light him on fire. Batman wins. Then we have Nightwing taking on Catwoman. I see Catwoman picking up the victory here because of the fact that Nightwing does have a little bit more of an inexperienced deal, as well as Catwoman just has more experience. So next up we have Superman taking on Black Canary. Sorry, Black Canary, you had a good run. Superman picks up the victory. We have Aquaman taking on Wonder Woman. I'm giving this one to Wonder Woman. She is amazing. We have Green Arrow taking on Shazam. I'm giving this one to Shazam. Next up we have the Batman taking on Catwoman. I think that despite maybe Catwoman trying to seduce Batman, Batman would find a way to pick up the victory here. Alright, so now we have... I'm actually going to do a little bit of a different order here. We have Shazam taking on Batman. For this one, giving it to Batman. I think inexperience, again, definitely hinders Shazam. Even though he's basically got these kind of powers, I think Batman would somehow find a way to exploit the inexperience that Shazam has, because you have to remember Shazam is also a kid inside. You understand what I'm saying. So Batman picks up the victory, which leaves Superman versus Wonder Woman. Whew, boy, I mean, this would be a tough one, but I am going to give this one to Wonder Woman. You know what? Maybe this isn't really just me picking out, like, you know, maybe it's not a situation where I'm picking out, you know, like strength, weaknesses, or seeing who would win in a fight or something like that. This is probably just more my preference between them. I think that's exactly what's going on, but whatever. So Wonder Woman taking on Batman. Ooh, I mean, Batman, the quote-unquote creepiest superhero of all time, according to Gabriel Iglesias, taking on Wonder Woman, who is obviously one of the... You know what? Not even wasting any time. Wonder Woman. Alright, so it's between Wonder Woman and Deadpool on who is the greatest superhero of all time. At least according to this list. Man, I really love Wonder Woman. I like the classic Wonder Woman with Linda Carter. I love the Gal Gadot version. She is just absolutely amazing. Deadpool has gone through some very interesting deals, but he is always very comedic, and he always finds a way to pick up a victory. He always finds a way to just win in the end and be one of the most charismatic people and superheroes of all time. Oh, this is tough. Between Wonder Woman and Deadpool. You know what? Really thinking about it, this might shock some people. I'm picking Wonder Woman. As much as I love Deadpool, Wonder Woman has definitely been getting a little bit more of a sweet spot in my heart. And I really love what she does as a hero, and I love everything that she stands for. And in all honesty, maybe one day I'll find my own Wonder Woman. Who knows? Alright, so that has been the episode of March Madness of sorts here from the Game Changer Podcast. Would love to know what you guys think. By all means, let me know who you think would win these brackets. Like I said, I got Toy Story 3 winning the Pixar bracket, and I had Wonder Woman winning this superhero bracket. I will have these actually in the photo deals. Otherwise, you can go to the Game Changer Podcast Facebook fan page where you can actually voice your opinion and let me know which one do you think would be victorious in each one of these brackets. So thank you guys so much for listening in. I've already mentioned how you can find me on Twitter, as well as where you can find us on so many different podcasting platforms. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this nice Game Changer extra, original, whatever you'd like to call it. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.